There we go, and we're off. Women's Division 7 is underway.
Okay, so it looks like Wolfson have had a pretty clean start. Brasenose just rating a little bit higher, but Osler, unsurprisingly, I suppose, are almost on them immediately and have taken that down to about half a length, looking really quite sharp. As a crew, and the Cooks has very sensibly gone out wide and is going to be looking for that blade on blade clash or a concession, which we've just had there.
Yep.
So Brasenose now can continue to focus on moving up and trying to gain on that Wolfson crew, and I think they could stand a chance in that over the long run. Osler 2 will have been going on to catch those crews, and it looks like St Anthony's are making a big push on St Bennett's Hall, probably down to a canvas. The Cooks is looking over their shoulder, really driving her crew on, really actually holding that quite nicely. They're not gaining as fast as they could have been, but there we go, we have had the concession.
Absolutely, yes. That's St Anthony's 2 bumping Bennett's Hall, and I think to my count, I think Osler House bumped Brasenose 2 in about 16 strokes. So my prediction of 20 wasn't too far off, actually. I'm quite happy at that guess.
No.
Meanwhile, we see at the head of the division. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, so as I say, but it does look like Brasenose are walking on that Wolfson crew. So
They do indeed, actually.
We could actually see a really interesting 3-boat sandwich type situation starting to develop as we come into the gut. So it will be Osler will be really trying to make that move, and if they're gonna go, they've got to go now because Brasenose are really starting to take chunks out of that Wolfson crew.
Absolutely. Or the other tactic you can go for in Women's Division 7 is to hope that they don't have the stamina. And actually, if you hold your nerve, Brasenose might fly and die, as the term is, and actually then move very far back away from Wolfson, and then that's an easy bump for you to claim up. But it does rely on Brasenose not bumping out on Wolfson, so there's a calculated risk reward calculation that Osler 2 crew do need to be making.
So I think Osler, if they're clever now, they will be aiming for the riggers of that boat and the looms of the spoon to basically not have to do too much rudder, just to get that overlap on Brasenose as they come through that corner. So there will be an advantage here for just taking the corner a little bit less sharply, so that you're not having to apply so much rudder. And as you can see there, you can take a really nice line, get that concession. So
yeah, that's a concession there.
Absolutely. So that Brasenose Cooks now is going to carry on driving his crew to go and catch that Wolfson crew. And I really hope that they give that a good go.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they were starting to look a little bit tired in terms of the blade work as they exited the gut, and I think Osler's strong blade work really showed through there, and that's how they made up that length in all of about 30-45 seconds. I think it'd be interesting to stick to the top of this division, and we can see what happens between Wolfson 4 and Brasenose 2, because I think Trinity 2 are probably in their own race. Brasenose won't be troubling them very much at all. You know, we'll see. I don't think Wolfson 5 were making that much of an impression going for the overbump on Bennett's Hall. Tilly Hall rowing very comfortably at 9th, and St Cat's W3. I think I'll make the executive kind of announcement now that I think they'll be rowing over at the foot of the river in this division. I don't think they'll be troubling Teddy Hall W3 at all.
So I think those crews at the bottom, what they've really got to do is just try and row their best race, aim to row the length of the course, and if something happens earlier on in the division, they can really take that opportunity and kind of capitalise on any mistakes that crews ahead make. We have seen that in divisions earlier this week with crews, as we've seen with just Brasenose there having a little wobble. Now Brasenose did manage to come back from that and continue rowing, but they just need to make sure that they're keeping their heads in the boat and rowing their most technically best if they want to make grounds on this Wolfson crew, who seem to have found quite a good rhythm actually, and
they
rowing
have
fairly
indeed
cleanly.
Yeah. I've got to say, so I think there's something for the Brasenose crew in terms of rowing together in better unison, and I think there's also probably something there for the Cocks of the Brasenose crew, because they were going up Greenbanks, maybe towards the middle. I know that there's not that much stream going on, but actually it does make a bit of a difference, and you can row a shorter course if you follow the racing line exactly, and actually crews should be making every attempt to follow the racing line, because that's what the rules of racing say. But there's no one around them, so there's unlikely to be any downside of it besides being slower.
Absolutely, and it does look like Brasenose have got back on that nice, solid rhythm. They're starting to swing together with the bodies, which is what really does make that big difference, and just starting to get the blades in a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper. As you get tired, you need to focus more on that technique and really make the use of rowing smart as well as rowing hard.
Yeah, and I think actually as they go past or approach their boathouse now, because we're kind of around Brasenoses boathouse, I think they're probably rowing at their best right now. You know, out the gut it was looking a little bit ropey, but I think Brasenose have done a really good job of bringing it together. And you've got 8 blades going in at pretty much the same time, which for the standard of a Division 7, I think is a very good effort. So you know what, fair play to Brasenose, well done on bringing it back after a bit of a rough exit out of the gut and 2 bumps.
Absolutely, and we should keep in mind, as I say, there's been a very difficult year to train up novices, and a lot of these crews in these lower divisions, they are people who have learnt to row this term, and so we're talking they've maybe rowed for 6 weeks, so they've done incredibly well to get to race standards in such a short amount of time. They should be very proud of this row. It is looking really solid.
Yeah, and we see Walton at the top of this division, who I think are they have gone up 1 this week, and maybe apart from an unfortunate event where they got bumped, I think by Teddy Hall on the first day, a very very fast Teddy Hall W2 crew, they have bumped both days. So I think that they will be really fighting in Women's Division 6 with a good competitive spirit. So I think we'll be seeing Walton W4 rowing again. Oh, meanwhile we've got Trinity who have stopped rowing. Oh, let's stick on Trinity. Have they bumped the crew? They've bumped the barge, have they? Or they had a crab? Now this could be really interesting. Let's focus on Trinity, because if there's going to be a bump, it's going to be there. Oh, now this is really interesting. They've hit the back. They've hit the moored boats, and St Bennet's will now be going for the row past. What drama is this? Unexpected drama in Women's Division 7. So Bennet's might actually avoid spoons because they've rowed the course and they've rowed past Trinity. What a fortune turnaround now. Teddy Hall are now also going for the row pass as Trinity resume rowing. Wow, oh no, they're going to head straight back again for another moored boat. Oh no, seconds before disaster. Oh dear.
No,
And they're not going to make that. Oh.
I do hope they're okay.
Oh dear.
So I think what Trinity need to do now is they just need to take a second to just reassess, calm down, get themselves sorted, and then they'll be able to row on and complete their race.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit demoralised. They should be able to push off and keep going if they can. It's a matter of time. I think they're getting advised by their coach, their bank rider. They can keep going maybe. So if they do pull over, do pull out, I wonder if the division's been stopped, because it looks like they're making no attempt to head off. So I wonder whether a marshal has stopped the division or there's something still going on here. But what I will infer from that is that Bennett's did actually go on to bump Trinity. I didn't see. I didn't actually. Cats are rowing on still, so it looks like Wolson probably bumped out on Bennett's Hall, and Teddy Hall have gone for the row past on Trinity, and Cats are going for the row past on Trinity as well. So there's going to be an almighty turnaround, and my executive announcement that Cats are over the foot of the river well and truly proven wrong, because in Women's Division 7 and Men's Division 7, pretty much most of the lower divisions, anything can and sometimes anything will happen. So, I mean, what do you make of that, Harriet?
Like I say, it's about taking those opportunities when they're provided, and well done for the Cookses in St Bennet's and Teddy Hall and Catherine's for going for that clean row pass rather than necessarily going in for any contact when they saw that Trinity were perhaps having a little bit of trouble. And my commiserations to Trinity. I do hope that all your rowers and your equipment is all right, and you can come back next year and avenge those bumps. Now, I'm a little bit concerned that the launch has stopped for them and they haven't been able to row on. So I just want to make sure that we are okay in that Trinity crew, but they were cheering on St Catherine's as they rode past them. So hopefully they are still in good spirits. I think that shows some really good sportsmanship in that Cats crew.